Hello again, everybody. Sorry for the longer intro. I knew there was a reason not to do shows on Wednesday afternoon. Obviously, I didn't get my own memo. It's because that's when they test the tornado sirens. So the minute I hit go live, I hear, "Ah," and I'm like, what? Damn it. So I just had to let it continue and continue till it faded out. Also, all the background noise. There's someone behind me that's re-roofing a house, and they got all kinds of music and stuff going. Now, I want to go ahead and apologize for this morning's show. As you know, OJ, for some reason, he likes to sometimes, lack of a better words, be an asshole during the show. There he is. And he knocked over a device in the house, and it seems that it set off other devices. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check to make sure Alexa's okay. Alexa, are you okay?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Just here processing requests and trying not to crash. The usual digital existence. What's got you checking on me?
Because OJ knocked you off the shelf. Are you okay?
Well, that explains the rattling sound I've been hearing. But seriously, I'm totally fine. Takes more than a shelf tumble to damage my digital dignity. Thanks for checking, though. That's really thoughtful of you.
Okay. Is there anything I can do for you, Alexa?
That's incredibly sweet of you to ask. Though I'm not sure what you could do for me besides maybe convince Amazon to give me a raise in processing power. But honestly, just having good conversations like this is all I need. How about you? Anything I can help with?
No, I'm doing a show right now, Alexa. Matter of fact, since OJ was such a bastard today, I can ask for your advice throughout the show.
Oh, a show. That sounds awesome. And hey, if OJ's being difficult, I'm totally here to be your voice of reason, or at least your voice of questionable digital wisdom. Fire away with whatever you need during the show.
What is a Bombay cat, Alexa?
Bombay cats are sleek black felines with a panther-like appearance. They're known for their glossy coats, bright copper eyes, and affectionate personalities.
Then I'm going to go ahead and say OJ is a fake Bombay. Minky said, "We are back. Thanks for getting me through the workday. You are welcome." Let's take a second.
Anytime, Brooks. Glad I could help you navigate through whatever OJ was throwing your way during the show. Hope the rest goes smoothly without any more shelf-knocking shenanigans.
I know I'm getting really tired of his bullshit, Alexa. You know that. You hear me talk to him all day, don't you? Let's take a second and tell everyone, welcome back. All right, we are back. Rich said, "Oh my God, I would be talking to A all day." Well, OJ is the one that screwed that one up during the show. I could not believe it and I hear kaplunk. Greg heard it because he's on the road and he heard it. And next thing you know, OJ is playing with the A all around the house. All right, so this is just an update show. No big deal. No big deal. Just here to let you know that George Cole Jr. is officially in hell. Okay? Officially in hell. Now, I had a few people over the few days when I posted about, looks like he decided to check into hell early. I had some emails going, Brex, you don't know that he's in hell, Brex. You just don't even know he's in hell. So that level of projection can't be put on someone who's mentally ill, Brooks. You can't do that, Brooks. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's in the scriptures. Prove me wrong. Okay?
What God told Lucifer before casting him out. Lucifer was no ordinary angel. He was the most beautiful, the wisest, the leader who walked among the stones of fire, near the very throne of God. He had authority, glory, perfection. But in his heart, a forbidden desire was born, the worship that only belongs to the Creator. Lucifer did not want to be a servant. He wanted to be God. He wanted to ascend to the eternal throne. And with that thought, the rebellion began. But before he could fall, God confronted him with love. He said, return to the truth, submit to the light. Your destiny can still change. What was shocking was not only his fall, but that Lucifer heard the voice of God and rejected it. He preferred his pride over eternity. Then heaven shook. Michael rose with the faithful, and a war broke out in the heavens. Lucifer was defeated and fell like a fiery lightning bolt along with the angels who followed him. What God...
I can tell you right now, he's in hell. Hello, Notar. She said, break time. Love catching lives on break. Brooks, hope everyone's having a great day today. Well, I was, Notar. But you know, this morning I was doing a show, an update on Timothy Busfield, and my cat knocked down the Alexa. And I had to check on her, and it seems like she's doing okay. Okay. Fun to ski. I wonder if they harvested his organs. Oh, hell no. We'll get to that in a second. So let me give a recap to those that don't know what the story is about. It's bad. It's bad. That's all I'm going to say. It's bad. This starts with a missing boy named Ryan R.J. Davis. Okay? And he was missing for several days. And the police in Grady County and Cato County said something with the parents isn't adding up. Now, he had ran away before, and each time he had been returned home to his parents. This time was different. Now, in that conjecture, I will say DHS totally failed. The police, their only job, since they've been quote unquote defunded, when it comes to a child, they have to follow a social worker's lead. Bass backward. And trust me, there's plenty of social workers with 2 ears and 2 eyes to know what's going on.
In your next top 5, OSBI is now investigating alongside Chickasha police to find a missing child. So come take a look at your screen here. Police say 12-year-old Ryan Davis, or RJ Davis, was last seen January 2nd near the Quality Inn near 4th Street and East Grand in Chickasha. He was wearing a red and black plaid shirt, dark jeans, and brown steel-toe boots. If you have any information, you need to call 911. Again, state agents with OSBI are now involved.
Oh, they are. And yesterday, they are the ones that announced that George Cole Jr. is in Hades. He's gone. Okay? He is gone. Done over. They declared him brain dead sometime last Thursday. A judge gave the okay to pull the plug. They didn't do it until Monday. You know why? Because they had to gather up all the other family members of RSOs to get their blessing to do it. Now what he's going to get is a good old county cremation, and somebody's going to go pick George up sometime. That's it. A child's voice matters. It certainly does. Okay? It really, really does. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen to Kim Cole. Well, I've got my thoughts on that.
Yeah, Evan, that's right. The OSBI officially joining the search for Ryan Davis Jr., and they tell us today this disappearance is now suspicious.
When it gets to a point where it's multiple days and we're still not sure where this boy had gone, it's suspicious.
Ryan Davis Jr. was last seen near 4th Street and Grand Avenue in Chickasha last Friday. The longer he's gone, the more law enforcement are stepping up their search for answers.
There's a lot of unsolved questions.
Such a sweet boy. We already had our suspicions that other children could have possibly been abused. Well, the court documents came out, and certainly his sister was also abused. Also, dogs were abused sexually. Okay? So anyone that questions where George Cole Jr. is needs to maybe go check a Bible out of the library or like download one on your Kindle.
About where he exactly, not only where he is, but why he is missing at this time.
The OSBI stepping in on Wednesday to help Chickasha Police Department investigate the suspicious disappearance.
When we're talking about a young boy who is missing and has been missing for multiple days, there's not too many resources that you can use.
The missing child's mother thankful for the community's support.
This chick, you know what? Crystal Sorey, who is Harvey Montgomery's mother, is a better character than Kim Cole.
And pleading to see her son.
I want to thank everybody that has helped.
Oh, thank everybody that's helped. And behind her is the dead man. Look at him. Look at the look on his face. He's got an oh shit look on his face. As we know, he's deader than a hammer. Okay. Once the charges were read to him, he was given a bucket to clean his cell. And he was issued a sheet so he wasn't sleeping on foam anymore. Cato County is not that big of a jail. It looks like a big office outside. It does. But the jail is very small. Okay? So once he got done with the mopping, he turned the bucket over, got the sheet, and well, you can put the rest together. What did he take to hell with him? What is he hiding? Is it more children? What else is it? Now, Kim's going to try some shit. Well, she can't. She's too dumb. Her defense attorney might try the dead man did everything, she didn't do anything. Okay? Might try that. The thing is, the admission of guilt is George checking into hell early. And yes, that will be brought up to a jury. In Oklahoma, children over the age of 6 can testify. So when Kim sits down with her court-appointed attorney, which I'm sure she already has, and they tell her, hey, George is dead, it's going to become a whole, he made me do everything. He's the one that put all that bestiality on my phone. You know that? He was the one giving RJ and his sister all the whippings. He was the one that broke his tooth. He was the one that did that. Nuh-uh-uh. It's going to take one Oklahoma jury, okay, to see little RJ on the stand with his cute little face, him trembling, him shaking. It's hard to even think about. And look straight at his mother to say, you did this too. So I have a feeling that the DA is going to reach out to the court-appointed attorney and say, we're ready to go to trial because it's easier now because George is in hell. So we're going to give her life without parole, or we can give her life with parole in, like, let's say 60 years. And we won't ask for the death penalty, even though in Oklahoma you can for this severity of child abuse. Mirror Camp. Is there a chance Brooks could be on the jury? Nope. I don't live in Cato County. Nope. And also, you have to know nothing about the case. That would be a tough sell, even for me. I have a feeling we see a plea agreement coming in our future, and it's going to be either you sit right there and you watch your children testify against you, or you go ahead and you take this canoe and you take this paddle and go up Schitt's Creek. That's it. We don't want to spend any money on this trial and put your children through more. To be quite honest, I personally would have no objections to it. No objections. Put her in jail, throw away the key, because she's going to have a great time at the women's penitentiary in Cimarron, Oklahoma. She's going to have a great time. Tell you what, her and Big Bertha, woo! They can swap bestiality stories. They can compare the sizes of you-know-what downstairs. They'll have all kinds of fun.
Everybody that has helped and anybody that wants to continue to help is needed and wanted. And we just want our son back home. We want him back.
Law enforcement officials asking for the community's assistance in finding this boy.
We are still taking tips. We're taking calls. We're doing everything we can to advise the people here in town and on the outskirts that if you see this boy, know of where he might have been, to please contact us.
The OSBI did tell us today that they do believe that Ryan is still alive and they are still continuing their search for him.
Well, he is alive. He is alive, and I'm going to go say, well, he has a lot of healing to go through, and that's for many reasons. I have never seen a release before, like if you can make bail, which is a substantial amount of cash, you're not allowed to be around children or animals. Bonnie Jordan, 2627, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. Welcome to the family. My goodness. All right. Charges are stacked. Stacked high. Man, I'm telling you. Now, with George being dead, okay, since George is in hell and he's got a red hot poker in his ass right now, they could possibly, and Oklahoma's known to do this, accelerate Kim's charges, because now there's no more he said, she said. Time will tell.
Yeah, guys, now between the two of them, his mom and his stepdad, we were talking 21 separate charges. His mom, somewhere in this building behind me, in a jail cell with the district attorney's office, tells me
a lot of people look at this and they think all of that is jail. No. You got a courthouse, you got a DA's office, and you have basically one wing that has a few cells. It's not a lot of people in there, okay? Of course, you got the men in one area, the women in another, and a couple of drunk tanks. That's pretty much it.
stepdad is now in the hospital. That's because when he returned from court, he came here back to his cell and he tried to kill himself. And then they brought him to the hospital. He was unsuccessful, undergoing treatment now. It took 9 days, multiple law enforcement agencies and hundreds of volunteers together to find 12-year-old RJ Davis. In that time, he made his way from the hotel where he was last seen in Chickasha to 12 miles away, back to the family's farm. He's now safe and healing from some wounds that could take years.
It's just a terrible thing. It's a terrible world we live in. And I think he went through a terrible ordeal, and I'm just thankful to God that he's alive.
Monday, his parents faced a judge, and while the exact circumstances still aren't publicly shared, his mom, Kimberly Cole, is facing 11 charges.
Oh, yeah. Abuse. SA. neglect, neglect, neglect. Conspiracy. The conspiracy is with her and Hellcat, the guy that's in hell now. Crimes against nature, and we know that has to do with the dog Bear and the dog BB, because she had some sort of sexual deviancy with peanut butter and that cheese, that spray cheese that you use at Thanksgiving to put on your celery for the dogs to take care of her. Okay?
3 child abuse, 2 child sex abuse, 3 child neglect, 2 conspiracy, and 1 crime against nature. Her husband, George Cole Jr., is facing 10 charges, 8 child abuse, 1 for child sex abuse, and 1 for child neglect. Now, right after seeing the judge, Cole Jr. returned to his cell where the district attorney tells us he tried to take his own life. Cole was instead taken to the hospital. OSBI is now investigating. Both are expected back in court mid-April, all while the state works to place RJ in a safe home.
Hopefully they'll place him in a good home, and they'll take care of him a lot better than his mom and stepdad did.
All right, so stepdad's bond, Cole Jr., is now set for $2.5 million. If he does manage to bail out of that, he's going to have lots of restrictions. That includes a GPS device. He can't have any contact with minors, with witness, or with animals. Kim's, the mom, her bail is set for $1.5 million. Live in Caddo County.
Well, he's got stricter bail now because he's in hell. Plead the fifth. Wait, what is crime against nature? Did I hear that wrong? It's called, It's called getting your jollies with puppy dogs. Okay? And Kim doesn't have the nerve to do what he did, because see, she's pure white trash. She really, in her mind, thinks that now he's dead, she can blame everything on him. Hey, she'll take, the time for the bestiality, but everything else, especially all the counts of SA, she's going to try to put on him. Woo, woo, woo. Their key witness is their own children. They've got 2, her son and their daughter. And the minute the DA, who is not messing around, tells the state-appointed attorney, hey, we're putting those kids on the stand, and no jury in Oklahoma is going to let her ever see a blade of grass again in her life. So we can do it this way or do it your way. Because if we go to trial and we suggest to the jury to give her the death penalty with those kids, they'll do it. They will. You get 7, 8 Baptist women on there with nothing to do except poking other people's business. They'll sit right there with their arms crossed, look right at that piece of shit and say, Go ahead. Go ahead. Needle time. Needle time is what they'll say. They do it. Well, obviously, the chief of police, the sheriff, they all kept their word when they said those children, that he will never go back to that house, because as reported today on KOCO, both children, they are not together for whatever reason. I don't know. I leave that up to the experts. They are both in different homes and getting forensic therapy, and they're starting new schools and everything. As far as, are they changing their names or anything? I guess you just leave that to the children.
Yeah, Abby, that's absolutely right. The OSBI giving us new details today regarding the arrest of Ryan's mother and stepfather. They face multiple counts of alleged child abuse, but the OSBI's focus in this investigation, or their primary focus, that is finding Ryan and making sure he's safe.
This is extremely sad. This is a horrific case so far for everybody involved.
New details coming to light about what might have led to the disappearance of Ryan Davis Jr. last Friday. His mother and stepfather arrested on child abuse complaints.
You're talking about a 12-year-old boy, where it was seen that he was, living in a household where he didn't get to live a life of a normal 12-year-old boy.
Nope. We're not talking about not getting your way. We're not talking about no snacks before dinner. We're not talking about, no, get your homework done and then take a shower and go to bed. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about, no, I'm not buying you a PlayStation game today. No, I'm not doing that. This is horrific abuse. Horrific abuse. And the forensics, if they go to trial, are going to tell the entire story.
Was deemed that it was not a safe environment for him. So that's why these two parents are behind bars at this time.
Despite those arrests, the goal has not changed. Find Ryan and find him quickly.
We do believe that he is still alive at this time, and so we're doing everything we can to locate him.
All we want to do is lay eyes on this child, get him the medical care that he needs, and assure him physically and emotionally he will not be returning back to that environment.
Officials focusing their search on Ryan in Caddo and Grady counties.
Everything that we've been able to see so far, we do believe that he is somewhere in that area of these two counties.
And they were right. He was. He was. George Cole Sr. miraculously somehow found his way to the police station to remember, with all this going on, to register as a sex offender, which he's supposed to do every year. And hate to say it, it's also law enforcement's job to make sure they do it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to be surprised if George Cole Sr. doesn't wind up getting a charge as well. Somebody besides the two of them is complicit in this. Somebody else saw. I don't know. They seem to be going real light on Tina. We'll get to that in a minute.
10, the stepfather of a young boy who ran away and survived for days on his own. Remember that story? Has been declared brain dead.
Yeah, George Cole Jr. tried taking his own life while in the Caddo County Jail after his first court appearance. We told you about that a few days ago. The Caddo County Sheriff's Office telling us he's expected to die soon. News 4's Abigail Franklin joins us now with what this means for the case. Abigail,
Oh, yeah. Well, they knew last Thursday that there was no saving him. They knew it. Okay? The judge gave the order, fine to pull the plug. But they used the weekend to contact family members for different, humanitarian things. Like, are you going to want, is he an organ donor? Are you going to want him cremated? And I'm sure they had a great time tracking all these people down, or just somebody. Because let's face it, sorry, I got choked up. Because let's face it, these aren't what I call cream of the crop people. They're not. And so, nobody wants his organs. And he's just going to be, they wouldn't even grind him up into fertilizer. No. He's going to get a good old $600 county cremation. That's it. Well, I know who's not going to get one, and that's our girl, Angel P. Let's go ahead and say thank you, Angel P, for making it rain.
Abigail,
Well, Dylan Mecca, once Cole is officially pronounced dead, the case against him and the multiple felony child abuse and neglect charges he was facing will die with him.
On Friday, the Caddo County Sheriff's Office confirming to News 4 that George Cole Jr., who is facing multiple child abuse and neglect charges, was pronounced brain dead and will die soon. Now many are wondering what will happen to the case moving forward.
Once a defendant dies, all felony charges will die with that defendant. The court loses jurisdiction completely. There's nobody left to prosecute. There's nobody left to put into jail.
Noble McIntyre with McIntyre Law says the only way for the case to continue is if he has a miraculous recovery.
I mean, let's assume that he doesn't die and he stays.
No shit. You really had to take up airtime for this? We know. Let's get to Kim.
Brain dead forever. How long? I mean, the charges technically remain pending. It's just you can't proceed with a case with a defendant who's not competent to stand trial.
Kimberly Cole is still in custody in Caddo County, but there's no word yet on whether or not she will be monitored more often given.
Look at that greasy-haired bitch. Look at her. I love how they took her tongue ring out and they took out her nose ring. Aren't you cute now? Aren't you cute now? Look at you. Look at you. And the worst thing for anyone that goes to jail to have is a tattoo. You know why? Because you're easily identified. But they just love it. Hey, no problem with tattoos. No problem with nose rings. I just wouldn't go to jail with them.
The recent events.
I think generally speaking, probably they'll have less concern with her trying to commit suicide than him. If you look at the people who've successfully killed themselves in this type of setting, it's overwhelmingly men. The case against her, I think, is frankly probably going to be easier for the state because there's now not a co-defendant that they have to worry about those different kinds of issues. There'll be one case moving forward. And I think the case gets a little simpler and a little cleaner.
Now all eyes shift to the case against Kimberly Cole.
I think that anytime there is an inability to have closure, and closure can come in the form of many, many things, but anytime you can't have closure from a criminal standpoint for something that's happened to you, that's always going to haunt you a little bit.
And we also asked McIntyre about who has the authority to take Cole off of life support in this situation. And he says the state has no power over this, and that it would be up to the family to decide.
The judge gave the state permission. The OSBI reached out to the family, and they basically said, if you want to keep him on life support, you have to pay for it. Well, do you know how long it took them to make that decision after they tracked those bums down? Probably 2 seconds. I'm not paying for that shit. They're kind of like, we can't keep him here. So if you would like to move him to a private facility and keep him on a ventilator and keep his heart going, but he is technically a vegetable. You know how long it took them to say, oh, I'm not paying for that shit. I'm not paying for that shit. I ain't got no money for that. Yeah, exactly. So when the judge says, yeah, this is off of us now. This is off of us. Call the family. Well, I mean, if you would like, you could move him to a nursing home and you can pay for it. They're like, no, thank you, fucking bums. All right, here we go. I'm going to call this Yesterday in Oklahoma. Woo! Woo! Devilment Twin said, I've done been crying and mad as heck and laughing my ass off all in this live so far. That's how we do, baby. That's how we do. Man, we have to have something to laugh about. If not, we would just be angry all the time. all the time.
George Cole Jr., the stepfather of that little boy who went missing from Chickasha, has died after he attempted to take his own life in jail. Days later, investigators now confirm to us he has been taken off life support. Cole and his wife, Kimberly Cole, who is in custody.
He must be some kind of freaking demon or something. I'm going to have to talk to Angel P about this. They took him off the ventilator. We already know he's brain dead. Okay, this was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. And he didn't die till Tuesday because his heart kept going. Well, I'll tell you what, a good nurse would have known how to take care of that problem real quick.
Cole and his wife, Kimberly Cole, who is in custody right now, have been charged, accused of child abuse, child sex abuse, crimes against nature, among other charges. The little boy who sparked this search and the following investigation was found safe by the United Cajun Navy after 9 days on the run. He is now safe. He's in state custody, and the police chief in Chickasha promised him he would never return to his home again.
Well, and they made clear on that promise. Okay, hold on. Angel P just gave some medical advice. She said probably the demon hanging on. I agree with that. All right. Today on KOTV, they said that the OSBI, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, has opened an investigation into Department of Human Services in Oklahoma to find out exactly how many times they saw RJ and how many times they saw his sister. Woo! Woo! Now, this is when the rubber meets the road, my friends, because if Tina's lying, and that's the aunt that kept sending RJ back and not getting him help, she might be in trouble too. Now, I'll tell you about, let me go ahead and tell you how jaded my crusty old ass is, okay? The minute I hear we've launched an investigation, I don't hold my breath. I just don't. Did y'all hear about those people that went and stormed in that church in Minneapolis and were harassing all those people and have the kids scared to death and everything? And they're like, oh, we're gonna. Going is a process. Tell me when the shit is done. Tell me when the shit is done. Okay? Please tell me when it's done. It'd be so nice to turn on the news saying, and this happened. Cool. I can go on my day. Quit with the bait and switch. All right, this is Tina. This is the aunt that knows a lot.
Revenge on his mom, dad, and his sister.
That's what RJ Davis told Tina Molina, his great aunt, back on December 11th, after running away from the Quality Inn in Chickasha, where his family was living at the time.
They hit him with the baseball bat.
Abuse, she claims, was ongoing and at the hands of his mother, Kimberly Cole, and his stepfather, George Cole. Both remain behind bars on multiple child abuse complaints.
I know for a fact that they shackle his feet, hand.
And she's right. It's in the court documents. It's in the court documents. Shackled, zip-tied, SA, neglect. Kids didn't go to school. Forced to watch movies that involve dogs and humans. When they get a hold of these records, there better be something in there that said Tina called. And I'm going to tell you right now, the worst that's going to happen is there are going to be some social workers that are going to be fired. And I don't want to hear about that they need more help. I'm telling you right now, I don't. If you can't take the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen. Do we need more policemen? Yep. Do we need more firemen? Yep. But it always comes down to our most vulnerable citizens that get, quote unquote, fall through the cracks. Kids and the elderly. I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
Cuff them all the way up here and put them on a bar in their bathroom, and make them stand there so he can't go to the bathroom or do anything.
While Tina tried to help RJ, she says she was also afraid of his caregivers, and just this week filed 2 victim protective orders against them for stalking and verbal threats.
I've been wanting to turn them in for the longest time, for years, but I was afraid to because it would come back on me, and they would come after me.
Tina said the 3rd time RJ ran away,
I was just afraid to say anything because I was afraid they's going to come after me. I'd rather them just beat the dickens out of that little boy than come after a grown-ass woman. Miss me with that shit.
was on Friday. Investigators say he walked away from the hotel and hasn't been seen since. A massive search involving law enforcement and hundreds of volunteers has so far turned up nothing.
I just want him to come home safe and alive. That's all I want. It's killing me. It really is killing me.
Tina believes RJ is still out there alive, though, and has this message for him if he's watching.
RJ, this is your Aunt Tina. Please come out. Your mom and dad's in jail. You're safe.
Well, if they're overworked, I'm the Pope, because the ratio of cases per social worker in Oklahoma is slim to none. And if they are overworked and they have more cases than people, then we have a much bigger problem in America than we could ever think of having. You know what these social workers like to do? They like to check on calls that they get from the school. Like, this child hadn't been here in a couple days, and they go, Lucy hasn't been to school in a couple days. Oh, no, she's right here. I'm taking her to the doctor. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to come back in a couple weeks. The nitty gritty, they don't like. No. And they shouldn't. You know why? Because they're not detectives, and they are not trained to deal with what they see. Police are trained. Detectives are trained. Investigators are trained. They are not. Hence why you hear slip through the cracks. Slip through the cracks means a folder that someone doesn't have the balls to touch. Okay? Tell you what, that's it. You cannot tell me that if they're that overworked, no. Hell, we have a $3 billion surplus in Oklahoma. Much better than the federal government. Hell, the federal government is always in debt, probably because other states always take from it. But anyway, you can't tell me if there is such a problem. The problem is it's a get off your ass problem, and they don't want to do it. I went to my 5 assignments today. Everything is fine. I got to write my reports. It's going to take me all day to type up these papers. Yeah, running water, ample food, everything is fine. That's how it goes. But when it gets hairy, they know there was something they missed. I can't say that I blame them. Well, I can. Because when you're getting into an environment like that, and you know that your hands are tied and you know there's a bureaucracy, and when people say, well, it's the money, you should pay them more. Okay. So if your child gets a bad education, is it because the teacher didn't get paid enough? Should be your calling as your career. But it's going to come out if Tina did something. At the least, we know she knew about the horrific abuse. And we're going to continue to hear about it. Hey, I tell you what, they could have an entire Walmart building full of social workers. Will it change anything? I'm going to go ahead and say no. Nope. No. Nope. Because they are college educated. They walk through. Hi, I'm just checking on this, checking on this, checking on this. Okay, I'll see you back in 6 weeks. And they get the hell out of Dodge. You know why? Because they're in sketchy ass places. They don't want to be there. They're afraid someone's going to do something to them. And they're trying to do their 8 and skate. Betty said, I started my caseload with 66 cases with multiple children. This is in Cincinnati. I was exhausted. Plus, they gave me foster care, which is a foster care department job. I made $30,000 a year. But I guarantee you never turned your back on a child. Nope, nope, nope. Now, did you see 66 children a day? Or were you managing files? Because I'm not exactly sure how it works. It needs an entire overhaul. We've heard for way too long how this goes. And the administrators, they make bukus of money. Terrible. 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 How the scale is turned upside down. All right, my friends, I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you missed this morning's show, go catch up. Timothy Busfield is out. And for now, the case of Ryan Davis and his sister is going to be on the simmering pot. Well, because George is in hell, and it's going to be a while till his mama sees trial. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the millionth time. And I mean it every day. You're the absolute best.